about 120 songs so far, and I've written almost all of those myself. So and as an independent artist, I had launched a record label. I self-publish, I own the publishing, I own the songwriter's royalties. So has come to be critical to my success in life and my forward thinking, I guess, to do it on my own. We share none of that with any labels, and our songs have streamed, some of them have streamed upwards, if you count the YouTube video and Spotify, I mean, 50 million, views and streams or more. So, just one song. So, that's been quite advantageous when none of that goes to a record label, though Spotify probably takes a big chunk and so forth. But that's the gist of it. So, for my entire life, it's just been monsters and music and writing, and that's what I do.
And you're living the dream.
That's what people tell me.
For real.
But that means
Let's hear
every
some of
day.
those monster stories.
Yeah, that means every day you get up and go, okay, well, how am I going to make a living? I better start writing a song or a book, and I better do it well, or TV calls, and that's sporadic. So yeah, but hey, I wouldn't trade it for anything because literally, it's like all the things I would have dreamed of as a kid, but my dad kept telling me, son, you can't do those things. You can't make it. You like Kiss, Ace Frehley sucks. You can't play guitar. I heard everything till I was about 40 years old. My parents are still telling me to stop, but I never did. And now they're kind of like, you know what? Um, and then as a twist on this, as if I'm not busy enough, my original band Solitude Eternus that I was in my early 20s, um, that I left in 1995, has progressively gotten so big over the years, I guess due to resurgence in early metal and stuff or whatever. We get these offers to play huge festivals around the world. So finally, the offers were good enough that I consented to do some shows. So we've done metal festivals in the last year in Germany, Greece. Um, we got some coming up in Mexico, offers in Romania. So I'm juggling that as well. But it's amazing because I wrote the lyrics of all those songs and some of the music back in my early 20s. And now it's been, I don't know how, like what, 35 years or something. And I go to another country and I see thousands of people singing those lyrics. It's beyond surreal. Like I remember writing them, in my late teens, my angst or early college times, and I see thousands of people which weren't even born when I wrote those singing the song. So as a songwriter, that has really been rewarding and why I will do these gigs even though I literally hardly have time to do it, but I'll make it work.
So you got a trip to Europe planned anytime soon? Are y'all heading out again?
Next week we do Maryland Death Fest. So that's only our second US date for a festival. And then beyond that, the only thing that's hard scheduled is Mexico, the Candelabrum Festival. So, and right now I'm also recording a new Ghoul Town album. So I'm
Right.
kind of,
I saw you guys were working on the Ghoul Town album. That's awesome.
yeah. So that's it. And when it comes to songwriting, it's like when you, that, it's somewhat of a narrow theme with the themes of the lyrics, but when you've written 110 songs in a certain defined category, I'm like, how many times can I come up with Ghoul Town, Western rock stuff? It's getting very hard. And the band members, when I ask them to contribute, just even please give me a riff, they just stare at me. So, but creativity, I only have to do it when it strikes because even though it is a job for me, because I have all these other things, when I get an inspiration, I turn around and pick up my guitar, and if something good comes out, fine. If it doesn't, fine. I don't have to capitalize that day as I would if Ghoultown was my only thing. And I,
That makes sense. Yes.
as many bands, like people are like, you know, wanting more from bands or the label pushes them, and they oftentimes are putting out material that maybe isn't their best inspired work because they have a schedule, whereas I don't. I only do things when I feel it's valid inspiration.
Speaking of, so what future book is sitting on your desk?
I just finished the manuscript for Terrifying Encounters 3, which is I'm doing a series book now, like they're a throwback to the old pocket paperback size paranormal books from the 70s
Okay.
rather than the bigger in-depth case books that I've done. So I just released Terrifying Encounters 1 and printed it old school, like mass-produced thing, not on demand, and it sold out within 3 weeks. And then I ran out, which was unfortunate.
That on Amazon or where
No,
now?
I won't. I didn't do Amazon on this one. All my other books are on Amazon, but for this series, I did it just old school. You have to get it from my mail order store or me at my in-person appearances.
Okay.
Um, so anyway, but I've just sent Terrifying Encounters 2 off to the editor, and I just finished 3. I'm trying to stay ahead of the curve because I'll need to, got a bunch of band stuff coming up, but
Well,
So
I missed both of those. I didn't realize that you'd done those two already. Well, cool.
well, the first one came out, the second one just went to the editor, but I got a second printing coming on the first one. I was caught off guard by how many people, I mean, I kind of know how many books I sell, but my diatribe to cut out Amazon and you can only get it from me and it's a limited production print run, people then say, "Oh, I must get it now. It's on Amazon,
Nice.
I'll get it later. It's like,
Right. That's well played.
yeah, it worked, but yeah, maybe not to the best. I should have gotten more, but
You got
fine.
more books?
I ran out. That makes it exclusive. But another printing is coming of the first one. The second one comes out in July, so
Nice.
a lot of stuff.
that's a PDF version on your website that you'd buy a PDF version of it. Is that
No, it was only hard copy.
only
It's a
okay? So they'd pay for it
Real
in
old
mail
school.
mail order.
yeah, it's literally old school mail
Okay.
order. Like, um,
So are you making more money from being an author than from being a songwriter?
I think songwriter is still ahead. Um, the author part has gradually caught up a little bit. Um, it's harder to make a living because the cost of the product and that most people want printed copies and the cost of the product is much higher, like than say a CD. And not many people buy hard copies, but with streaming, the bands still just kill it, because with millions of streams every year, the books can't compete.
Yeah.
So
So are people buying downloads of your songs?
yes, I would say that, early on people bought mostly CDs and then they bought downloads and then now they still buy downloads and if you put out CDs to a limited extent they will buy them, but the majority of the revenue is coming from streaming, which would include YouTube, Amazon Music, Spotify, Pandora, all manner of that. And so almost, the leading part of that is definitely just people streaming it and you getting revenue, but people still do purchase the download, the whole entire album digitally.
Who is your distributor?
CD Baby, which I started using them. They appeared early on back when Ghoultown started in 1999 and when I kind of went independent from the record labels. Um, CD Baby started around that time, so um, I use them and still do.
So you're from, did you grow up in Texarkana?
No, I was born in Fort Worth. I've lived in Dallas, Fort Worth my whole life.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The
How did you get so in touch with the monster story in the Texarkana, Arkansas area? I can't remember the name of the monster now, though. The Bigfoot monsterish Arkansas from Arkansas.
Right, the Fouke monster, which was made famous by the 1972 movie The Legend of Boggy Creek. Um, that was a movie that I saw when I was a kid. My dad's a hunter, um, and we were often camping, and that movie was sort of a scary Southern Bigfoot case, and I just loved it. And um, I'd seen it when I was a kid. I knew it was based on a true story and so forth. And then some years ago, we were touring, and I was in a truck stop, and I saw it on DVD. I was like, oh man, I love this old movie. So I got it, and I would incessantly watch it every night. I had
Oh,
a laptop that would play DVDs on that time, and all the guys in the band were like, why you keep watching this movie? I was like, I love this movie. And so I just decided to write a book on it, and then I started going up there to Fouke, which is near Texarkana, and doing research and so forth. And that was my first book, The Beast of Boggy Creek, which came out in 2012. And then immediately thereafter, I got a publishing deal. The television show started calling, and it just blew up so fast immediately that I thought, and I'd kind of taken a break from the band creativity, to do something different, create creativity, uh, and did the book. And then when that kind of all of a sudden turned into a thing, I was like, oh man, well, I guess I'm going to do this too. And then it just became a back and forth between music and the books and monsters.
so the TV show is what got you the spots on the Unexplained and those other shows that you're on.
Well, yeah, once when the book came out, um, a lot of those shows back, especially at that time, would, if they were covering a subject like Legend of Boggy Creek or whatever, they would search out people that had written books on it. And mine had just come out, and so a lot of those shows were just debuting, like Monsters and Mysteries in America and Finding Bigfoot. And so they sought me out because I had written a book, and then I got on camera, and they realized I could speak well enough, I guess, and I looked you know, outdoorsy or something. And um, so then once you're on one television show, you just sort of get a reputation. So as the years have gone by, I've been on many of them, and also been asked to have my own show, which I don't really want because that would be like having an employer, and I'd rather just get on a few and do my own thing. So,
Mhm.
um,
So is that lucrative? I mean, is it being on TV is better than being an artist selling CDs or an author, book writer? Is being a TV celebrity better and more lucrative?
it's actually not. In a way, I mean, even I know guys who are cast members on shows that, been going on 5 or 6 seasons or more. As your show is endures, you'll get a better paycheck, but television does not pay well. And even getting them to pay you anything is a battle. I have an agent that deals with that, but it's not all about just the pay for the show. Like if I'm on The Unexplained, they need to pay me for my time. But what you get out of that is you're seen by so many people. And then when I do, I get asked to speak at a paranormal conference or a Bigfoot conference or something, or even the band. Um, People go, "Oh, I saw you on TV. I need to get your book." As if being on TV makes you a good author. Or I saw you on TV. I heard about your band. I need to buy an album. So it's like an advertisement. So it is lucrative only if you have something to sell, or you have some other thing, because unless you're just on a TV show, well, like Josh Gates or something. Sure, he makes a lot of money, but he's doing that 24/7 every year, So yeah.
It's good publicity for your brand.
Oh, well, absolutely. So all of that together, and it crossed brands, with the bands got bigger because once I started getting interviewed, especially on podcasts and all this manner of paranormal coverage, they would like, man, we checked out your band, we love it. Can we play one of your songs on our show while I'm talking about creatures? I'm like, sure, like a huge advertisement. So it made exposed the band to all these people that would have never probably found a band like Ghoultown, So all of it in combination really works, and it, good or bad, it works to the point where there's nothing that's lacking, where I can't give any of it up. It's like I got to keep up with all of it because it does all well enough.
Yeah, that's a lot going on though. You're very DIY.
Very, and I mean, I've tried hiring assistants a couple of times because I mean, even answering messages on a daily basis is nearly a full-time job, but I can't, they ask me more questions about what to do than it's worth my time, so I end up just going back to DIY.
With all your experience and research, have you run across very many aliens?
I get reports, a lot of people will tell me UFO sightings, which would be where they saw a craft or an unexplained light in the sky. I get those. While I don't do much UFO research or ghosts, but it all crosses over. So people will tell me of ghost sightings. And as far as aliens, I've only really ever had a couple of people that ever told me they saw what they thought was an alien, like some kind of entity, that was either presumably came from some craft and from the sky. So one of those being a pretty scary story from, God, where that was, Pennsylvania. And back in the 80s, this guy said he and his wife had seen this thing after seeing what they thought was a UFO. It was pretty scary.
Pretty hot topic right now.
Oh, surely, yeah. And it's gotten more highbrow because, you know, there's just a fact. People have seen unexplained things in the sky, and I think everybody goes, you're not crazy anymore if you say you did, because you can literally see, Air Force personnel and astronauts who have claimed to see this. So it's not taboo.
So your agent, is he from or he or she from LA, Los Angeles, or are they from
Beverly Hills.
Beverly? Okay, yeah.
For real. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yes. And to answer that guy's question, I saw a guy asking about Bandcamp as as a distributor. I do use Bandcamp as well. So if CD Baby distributes Bandcamp, we have Bandcamp. Like I literally have anything that I'm on every platform that can be, because you will have people that subscribe to one and not the other, and you'll have sales on through Bandcamp, and you'll have sales through everything else. So the key, in my opinion, in being independent is you gotta be on everything, and you gotta register your songs at ASCAP, uh, and you have to be on all that sound exchange. I get royalties from that, jukeboxes. So, if you kind of cover everything, then you will presumably, reap the rewards of that. But nobody's gonna volunteer to send you money unless register and take your stand and say, those are my songs, I should receive the royalties.
When when you're doing stories on creatures and um monsters and stuff in the world, I know there's like um I lived in New Orleans for about 10 years, and they got all kinds of stories about weird creatures in the swamp, rougarous and all kinds of things that like stem from mythologies and old religions and voodoo and whatnot. Do you have you come across a lot of people saying like giving you sightings or like anything you've seen yourself that are of any particular kind of tied to any mythology, or I guess I'd throw Bigfoot in there as one of them, but I'm just curious.
Well, mythology is a word that is indicative of Greek gods, things that are made up to explain other things. Whereas what I would my focus is on what would be termed a cryptid, which would be things
Ah,
that people in modern times say they've seen. So Bigfoot would fall under that category. Lake monsters, Loch Ness monster, if you will, so-called chupacabras. Um, there is in, close to New Orleans, just to the east, is a little place called Slidell, which is close to Honey Island Swamp, and that's one of those where, for years, people claimed there's a creature known as the Honey Island Swamp Monster, which is one I've researched. I've even been down there, which is kind of a Bigfoot-like sort of creature, swamp monster. I love swamp monsters. I wrote a book called Sinister Swamps, which covers like all that stuff, including the Honey Island Swamp Monster. But um, when you talk about something like Rougarou, which is a Louisiana, mostly Cajun legend about what we would basically call a werewolf, and those kind of stem from almost folklore or what your grandma would tell you about. Not as many like sightings that date back like say Bigfoot. However, there are sightings of what a cryptid called a dogman, and that's the term they use for something not like a shape-shifting werewolf or a supernatural thing, but it's very close to what a rougarou would be described. So they do cross over where you basically have legends and wise tales and things like that, to where you can literally interview a person that, say, in the last 10 years said he saw some kind of bipedal canine that walked upright that looked like a werewolf. And in fact, in my Terrifying Encounters book that I was talking about that just sold out, that I'm getting more, I interviewed a guy from Plain Dealing, Louisiana, which is more up to the north, that claimed that when he was younger, he had seen one of these, like a living rougarou. And I mean, this guy was super credible. I mean, he was not crazy or making this up, and it was scary. Um, so yeah, yeah, Louisiana is a really great place for those legends and cryptid sightings.
If you ever decide to write anything about aliens, I'll be glad to share some of my experiences with you. I believe my girlfriend is an alien.
Okay. Well, I will make mental note of that, and you never know. I may be getting a report about your alien girlfriend for my next manuscript.
She's a good one though. I
Yeah,
meant that
oh
in a
yeah.
good way.
Yeah, they're not all. I mean, they can be benevolent and friendly as just as much as anything. So,
I,
So, out of curiosity, I've never get a chance to ask you about how was the Mothman investigation experience?
good. I love that area up there in West Virginia, and the Mothman is a legendary creature reported in a small town called Point Pleasant, which is right on the Ohio River in West Virginia. And they have a festival up there every year in this little town that draws, I'm not kidding, over 20,000 people. And I've been a guest at that festival several times, and I've gone out there into the area where this creature was sighted, which dates back starting in 1966. But yeah, it's super fun, and it's a really creepy area. The TNT area, there is something weird. I mean, you try to, I mean, you have a preconceived idea. Obviously, people said they saw a monster there, but there's something weird about that area. And when you go there, you can kind of feel it. And I mean, I'm certain that something happened there, because the very credible witnesses over the years that claim to have seen the Mothman.
Never been in the area, but I saw the movie when it came out years ago.
Hmm.
But yeah, a lot of big trees and rivers and stuff up in that area.
Oh yeah, yeah. West Virginia, especially when I fly into that area and kind of look, it's like, man, there could be anything out there. There's just tons of Bigfoot sightings, and it's not surprising because it's just all these like forested valleys and hills, and there's like a layer of fog over the whole thing. I mean, it's very spooky looking, and things can stand 15 yards away and be fully out of sight, no problem, just because of the way that environment is.
Are your these hunts and these investigations that and they're tied mostly to cryptids and less so about like aliens and afterlife kind of sightings and I say afterlife like ghosts and stuff. Or would you say it focuses mostly on the cryptids of the world?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, all mine is cryptids, monsters, people reporting monsters that of that nature. I don't do. I say this, per, I mean, like I said, I get reports of all manner of that stuff, but I
Mhm.
got to focus on something. So I'm the
Yeah.
the cryptid guy. I'm already got too much going. However, Terrifying Encounters 3 has it gets off into sightings of extraterrestrials, but that's because that book series is literally Terrifying Encounters. So it will dip dip toes into um, other other realms that I haven't gone before, which is kind of fun. So.
But one time you had the title. I don't know if you still hold the title as the most published cryptid writer. Are you still there?
Well,
I saw an article on you, and they cited you as being the most published cryptid writer in the
oh,
U.S.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know that when The Beast of Boggy Creek came out, it was the fastest selling book on that publisher to date, and they were one of the bigger publishers in paranormal. Um, and I mean, I haven't written the most number of cryptid books probably, but as some other guys, but I've probably outsold probably most everybody. So that could be true. Yeah.
Does your band the music your band I know you said you get signed up for like podcasts being played with podcasts and stuff, but the do y'all ever get hit up for shows that are about like mysteries of the world and stuff like that are on I've seen some on Discovery Channel and other things like that. Um Sounds like it'd be right up your music's alley.
No, I mean the band doesn't hasn't been hit up for shows. Really.
Mhm. I know
Uh,
you mentioned like sync licensing and
oh,
what
for
was it?
like streaming on shows. Early on, our music was licensed to some MTV stuff. We've been in several movies
Mhm.
um, over the years, mostly horror movies. But we haven't got a lot of sync stuff for like television and stuff. I mean, our band's kind of Western like horror rock, so I don't know. They may steer not be what they want, or I may be missing an opportunity there. Um, Not sure, but
Something else to do.
I know
Add it to the long list of things to do.
it's crazy. Yeah, sorry, I have to look at this.
So you're self-publishing, is that correct?
Uh, well, at first, the first three books were on publishers because that was a realm I wasn't too familiar with when I first wrote that book, and um, I hadn't didn't really I had no name in that uh, field, so my first three books were on the same publisher, and then I figured out they're not doing anything really for me because I was on the shows, I was out there doing public appearances or interviews, And then I just went to self-publishing after that. So I put out 10 books. So I've done four of them were on publishers. Um, six of them I think to date I just do myself, which is far more lucrative. Just like I did with the band. Once I figured it out, I just said, man, with today's internet and Amazon and whatever, I don't need a label. Just cut them out.
Yeah, so I was actually asking about music publishing instead of book publishing, but I'm glad you answered the book.
Oh, oh, okay. Music publishing. Yes, I since I released the albums, um, and now it's more formal. When you release something through distributors like CD Baby, you have to fill out all the legal stuff about who wrote the songs and all that. Used to it was kind of the Wild West. You just put that if you knew it, they didn't care. But now, even then I did. But um, so I claim 50% of the publishing as the record label slash publisher, because there's nobody else but me. So I'll get all the, I guess, the mechanical royalties or so forth for the publishing, and then of course the songwriting I'll get too because I wrote the song, and all of that is coming through like ASCAP. They'll collect stuff, and ask I'll get a check from them in addition to any sort of streaming royalties for the songs themselves from YouTube and all that.
Do you have all
Is,
songs on YouTube by the band? Do you have videos of the band on YouTube?
There are videos. Yeah, we do some of the songs have like videos with them. There's live videos. And then, I mean, YouTube also, our CD Baby, just they upload the audio as well. So people will stream just the audio, or you can watch the videos. So, there's literally every option for every person.
Yeah.
I'm not the first one it's occurred to, but for songwriters, creative people, the same creative juices that help them in songwriting will flow into other activities, and you're living proof of that in how you're writing and performing, and you're a very interesting person.
Well, thank you. And I will say that it does, and I think I recommend this for any songwriters. If you're sitting there just every day trying to write a song, it, like I said, with the inspiration, that doesn't always get your best stuff. But I find that when I go off and I write a book, then I'm ready to, then I sometimes I just get inspired because I'm not thinking about songwriting, and I'll just get some idea, like, okay, I'm tired of sitting here writing, and I'm like, yeah, I want to jam something. And all of a sudden I'll have this really good inspiration. And same being like if I sat there and finished a book, it's like, okay, I've got the book out of the way. I feel like playing some music. And I feel that energizes or re-energizes me, for songwriting. So, that could very well translate to go take a walk or go camping for the weekend. Just go do something totally different. And then you come back kind of fired up to, okay, I'm gonna pick up the guitar and stuff comes out rather than just, if you only focus, I think, on songwriting, it, that you miss some inspiration, and you need that inspiration from the world, whether that's, seeing another band play live, and you go, God, that was a killer section. I'm gonna write a lead section like that, or you go out and meet some girl and then she breaks your heart. I gotta write a song about that. Well, if you're not out there to meet the girl or to find that inspiration or be distracted from the songwriting, then you can't hit it fresh. So for me, it works to my advantage by going back and forth because I'm always at my top inspiration.
Yeah, creative people get bored easily. You have to switch doing things so you can stay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it gives me something that I'm still working. I'm just doing something totally different. So I'm not wasting time or something, but I'm being productive on one side that will then end up inspiring something on the opposite side. So That works for me.
That's a nice dynamic.
It is. Hey, I'm gonna bear with me one sec. I'm gonna tell this guy the ticket. I'm supposed to be on the ticket here in a little bit, and they calling me to ask me if I'm still gonna be on it. I'm like, yes. Bear with me a sec. I
Well,
usually have
we
things.
appreciate your taking the time for us, Lyle,
Hey,
and
this is Lyle.
yeah, it's been very interesting to hear
Hey,
some of
I'm gonna
your.
be on it. I'm on another interview right now, but I didn't want to leave you dry. But yeah, I'm good for it, buddy. Oh, absolutely. So you guys are gonna call me?
Busy guy.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. All right, you bet. Thanks. All right. That was the
Lyle, it sounds
ticket
like you
ticket.
got to go, but
No, that interview is here in a couple minutes. I got a couple more minutes. I didn't,
well,
but they wanted a call to check or whatever. So I'm like, yes. But I'll be on Coast to Coast. Does anybody listen to that Coast to Coast radio?
uh, there's one.
It's a syndicated radio show that's been in existence for a long time. It's huge, hugely popular. I'll be on that Friday night talking about the local Lake Worth monster, which is relevant to the Fort Worth, Dallas area.
Uh-huh. Well, we'll
Speaking
tune
Awesome.
in.
of those myths, you're aware of the Lady of the Lake, White Rock Lake?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My girlfriend saw her. In fact, I think they talked for a while.
Not a monster. The Lady of the Lake is
No,
not a,
but it's
but
but
that's
it's on the order of
Ghost story.
extraterrestrials.
No, no, it's a ghost story. It's not extraterrestrial story.
Right. And I think Lake Worth Monster is also said to have a giant catfish, so it's got a couple of creepy things. Literally.
Yeah, you need to milk it, man.
There's a lot. In any town you can there's always great stories. Always every bridge has a goat man, there's all that manner of more urban legends, I would say, which is just endless topics if you go anywhere with ghosts or cryptids, aliens, urban legends, mysteries. It's an endless and they all cross over, because
Well, you're a
news.
very interesting person. I've really enjoyed your visiting with us and sharing your experiences, and I think we all draw some encouragement from what you've told us.
what a very interesting interview and a lot of information you've laid on us. So that's really neat.
If you haven't heard the
Well,
band, definitely check them out.
Yeah, for
well,
sure.
I don't mind sharing. I feel like I've um, benefited from people talking to me about these subjects and guiding me or taking their time to offer insight into any number of the things I do. So I'm always happy to talk about these and, offer whatever perspective I can I'm good at answering questions as well. So,
Good.
so if you have any more questions, I can take another one if you
Well,
got
keep me
any.
in mind if you ever want to do.
Does anybody have another question?
I just want to know what all the instruments you play. Sorry, Thomas and I are in the same room. Okay, there it goes. What all the instruments do you play? Maybe I missed that part.
Well, I didn't really cover that specifically. So when I started playing, when I was 15, I played drums. And that was merely because I begged for a guitar. My parents said, no, you have to play piano. So I went through the back door by joining the junior high band. I got in on drums, and then they were forced to buy me some drums. Um, so I started on drums, and then I moved to bass in a band thereafter, and eventually to guitar in Ghoultown and singing. So I can play all the main instruments in a band, and some of the composers on albums or instrumentals. I played everything on it.
On the
Um,
Didn't you play drums on some of the Solitude Alternative stuff?
right. Yeah, I started in on drums in Solitude, though I really wanted to play bass, and then when the bass player left, I moved into that position. We got another drummer. That was just before the first album. So yeah, Um, I, I finally worked up a little bit to the main part of the stage. Just drums, there's too many things to carry, man.
I feel that.
Okay, if you're the drummer, you know what I mean. It's like,
Yeah.
I just and then
Some of
I
the
want I want to be the singer, just a singer, and then I just bring a mic or nothing.
Oh, then you got to bring the PA,
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I only play. Then you only play a place that has a PA, so you're good to go. You know.
Did you study composition in college or independently, or what what led you to be a writer?
As a book writer or music writer,
Songwriter.
Writer.
songwriter. Yeah. No. Songwriting just kind of became out of necessity. I would just get in bands, and I would just seem to people needed direction or ideas, so I kind of started trying to write songs. Once I started playing guitar, I was learning that. So I never took any sort of formal classes or anything. I just learned from the ground up. And of course, over the years, I've learned a lot, about songwriting and structure and how things work together that maybe I stumbled upon early on, but I wasn't fully cognizant of how that stuff worked. But I've really tried to hone that craft as the main songwriter for Ghoultown. And I remember a musician once saying a long, long time ago, what advice do you have for other people? It's like you write good songs. You got nothing without songs. You can play, you can have the best sound in the world, the coolest guitars, you can play the fanciest licks, but if you don't have good songs, you got nothing. So every song I write, I try to write "We Will Rock You" or something. It's go and he sings. Simple as that. So if you start from simple and make something that's catchy, you know, a good chorus and things that people identify with, I've found that it's successful. So songwriting to me is the most important thing you can do. You can play a well-written song on a really crappy guitar and people will still go, "Wow, that's a good song." You play a crappy song on the greatest sounding system ever and it's like, meh, you know. So songwriting is the main thing.
songwriting is storytelling, and
Hmm.
like you said earlier, it needs to be, if it can, it needs to be relatable. People got to
Yeah.
walk away humming that chorus saying or singing it. That's when you know that it's
Yeah.
driven home.
Well, there's several Ghoultown songs that are on my playlist all the time.
Our
By the way,
greatest story.
some of
Our,
your musical talents have rubbed off with the Thomas twins. Apparently, they're mul- they're multi-instrument people.
well, they're quite talented as well. So I am envious of their talents and has been a pleasure to know them over the years. So yeah, but yeah, you're right. Storytelling, going somewhere with lyrics or just having something that's catchy, even if it's something silly, it's got to be catchy. And we all have heard songs that are annoyingly juvenile or silly, but people are singing them or whatever. You're like, oh my gosh, how come I didn't think of that? But yeah, just if you can play this, I play the song, and if my daughter or my girlfriend or whatever kind of sings it again later, I'm like, I know I'm on to something because they're catching on and they're hearing the most primitive version.
I was in
All
a
right.
recording
Let's
session this past week, and the one song that stuck in all of our heads the most was written by the guitarist's 5-year-old.
See, there you
Nice.
go.
Yeah, it's still stuck in my head.
Yeah, you just put a recorder in front of a kid, they may come up with a good melody that you can borrow.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, songwriting is the basis, and I've just learned on the fly, just putting stuff out there, judging the feedback and going forward. But I'm sure I could have sped it up by doing some study of the craft. But I listen to long time band. If you listen to, whether you like the band or you don't, like if you listen to whatever Rolling Stones or Kiss or any number of bands, if they have, they've been successful. I just listen to the way they put their songs together. They've done something right somewhere. So those I emulate the song construction of the masters.
Listen to you talk. I think I'm gonna start writing books. Lord knows I have some experience with extraterrestrials. So
Well, there you go,
okay,
and that's a popular topic. I would recommend that.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you very
Awesome.
much, Lyle.
You betcha.
Much appreciated. Enjoyed the visit as usual.
Anytime, my friend.
Uh,
All right. Well, cool, man. I appreciate you guys having me on and
Well,
check
enjoy
out the
your other
stuff.
interview and the
Dave, for that. Sounds like you got something else you need to do, but
Yeah, I'll be on the ticket. I don't know. I don't have much faith in what they're going to be about asking. They want to know about Bigfoot. I don't know if they're going to be laughing or what. I don't care, but I'm like, okay, cool. I should be done by this one. I'll do their show. Sounds
okay.
sounds cool. But that's a 15-minute interview. No problem.
well, you're warmed up. Good deal.
Exactly.
right.
All right, man. Well, take
Like,
care. We'll
Good
see you
stuff,
soon.
man.
all right, appreciate
Bye.
y'all. All right, bye.
You-